dispute about it. The guild said that I've been a member since '58. That would make me about 50 years, but I made them change it to 53, which happens to be accurate, and told them by '58 I was already over the hill. But yes, I'm certainly one of the seniors in terms of point of service. I have 43 credited years. Those are the years when you make money, and you don't make money every year. That's one of the reasons that we need residuals. It's not the main reason, but it's a reason. And I've been through 3 strikes. I don't remember them very well. I do know that I picketed in 2 of them. I'm not picketing in this one because I'm too old.
How old are you now?
85.
But you made it today.
Oh yeah.
In the rain, the one day of rain this year.
But in the meantime, I think as an arbiter, I have probably arbitrated 100 credits. And I will tell you, I would rather be doing picketing is more fun than arbitrating. But it's all important for the union, and the union is important for us. And not so much for us. It is important. Gonna keep up like this.
The horns are honking. It's a lively day in the rain.
But people that aren't striking, I'm very glad that they would blow their horn. They're with us. I think the public understands that our demands are not unreasonable and that we're prepared to adjust them, but we can't take nothing, which is basically what they offer us. And they say, oh, they'll find out someday what the internet distribution is worth. No, we'll take a percentage of what it's worth from the get-go. And we'll take a moderate percentage. We don't want to take your profit, we just want a piece of the action. And we'll get it. Before we're done, we will get it.
Well,
1960, which I did. I wrote 3 of them. You gave up your residuals in order to start the health fund. And that was an important sacrifice that was asked of us, and we were happy to do it. So I don't get residuals on my 3 features, including one that was where I got an Oscar nomination. But I'm better off. I'd much rather have the health fund. Believe me, I had a bypass. There is no residual that would have paid for that bypass. I took more money out of the health fund there than they ever got out of my residual. But there were writers, who had an enormous, Dan Taraday, who wrote great movies before 1960. And he gave up a lot. And so did all of the pre-1960 writers. We all gave up our residuals. Didn't sound like anything at the time, but it sure as hell turned out to be worth doing. And that health fund is very important to us and to the others. It was a good deal for us, I think.
so what
Never heard of what I wrote. I wrote the pilots of Ironside. They never heard of Ironside. I wrote the pilots of Marcus Welby. They would rather be watching Grey's Anatomy, which is the same show, but we did it first. I wrote the first lawyer show that nobody ever heard of. It was called On Trial. It was way before the Defenders, before anything. It was so old that when NBC made us change the name, they made us change the name to the Joseph Cotton Show. Joe Cotton was our leading man. That's another name they never heard of. We always think that we do. We can remember things. I mean, hell, everybody knows that writers called us schmucks with Underwoods. But I remember Warner. I saw him personally. I know what he's like. And I know of course I know about schmucks, but I also know about Underwoods. And most of these people never heard of Underwood. They never heard of IBM Selectrics because they're young. They don't understand. There was a machine where you could type, and when you got to the end of the line, a bell rang. And then you pushed the bar back, and then you did it again, and then you did it again. They can't believe that anybody ever did that. Yes, or some people you write it down by hand. Oh yes, and they used to have stencils. We still talk about going to Mimeo, but it's not Mimeo. Mimeo, you get this nice stencil, and if you make a mistake, you have a thing called collodion that you can paint over the mistake, and then you type over it again. but you better pick another word with the same number of letters. And we did that routinely. Hold it up to the light, and you read it, and your secretary tells you what's on the script, and then you make the changes. It was a completely different game in those days, but the same problem, which is that we don't have the copyright. We should have the copyright. As far as I know, only one screenwriter ever got the copyright. That was Edna Ferber, and she owned the copyright to Showboat. And when they went to remake Showboat, they didn't give her a residual. They just had to make a whole new deal and buy it back from her. And then they had to give it back to her again. And if they want to make it again, they've got to go to her estate. That's what would happen if we had copyright, but we haven't got it, and we're not going to get it, but we're moving closer to it. We now have so-called separation of rights, in which there are some things that they can't do with our part of the copyright.
It seems like the AMPTP wants to eliminate separation of rights.
Oh yes, they would. Well, ideally, but instead of that, and we want to get the whole copyright, and they won't do that. So what they'll do is leave us the separation of rights that we've got, and sweeten the deal a little bit, and we'll move on. We're not unreasonable, and we want them. As long as they're not unreasonable, we can make a deal.
So do you have any advice to give to the younger people who have not been through a strike before?
Well, they got to understand that they are going to live on to a system of distribution of films and television that is totally unlike what we have today. Don't worry about the DVDs. Don't worry about the production cost. Worry about what is going out over the internet and what is being transmitted right in the home. You don't have to go to the theater. You don't have to do anything. You can put an ad in there, and you better give the writer some of the money for that ad, or there's going to be hell to pay. That's all. That's what the strike is about, really. All the other issues don't matter.
Ironside.